Hello, welcome to week 13. Only a few more weeks left. I hope you have fun this week. We're going to spend the bulk of the next few weeks working on your final projects. And, I hope it's becoming clearer to you what the final project is, and hope it's, the major point of the project, and leaving the topic open to you, but it's for you to bring together all of the ideas that we've been covering throughout this course. How do you make a good presentation? What are some of the elements that of design, or the elements of creating emotion in a video? Or so you may go back through each of the lessons and see what we covered. I think the idea of we're using images, so the images in your presentation should be optimized and not pixelated, or they shouldn't be too small. So, one of the skills that you might, or learning goals in your project might be to, again, learn to use Pixlr in more detail, or so you can optimize images, or doing research in Google Docs. So it's pulling together, all of the pieces that and tools that we've been using, and you select the ones that you need, to come out with your project. The other piece of this week will be to be working in your groups. You've each been assigned groups, and it's not for group work. You're all going to create your own project, but the groups are there to support each other and provide feedback. So it's not just me. We're going to have other people providing feedback as well. And so if remember this spreadsheet, so you'll see your group members here, and hopefully by then next week we'll have links to everybody's projects here. I've also shared, if you go to your drive and you go to shared with me, you should see, I can't show you because I've created them, but you should see folders, because what I've done, I've shared the folders as well as the spreadsheet. So you'll be able to see your groups folder. You should be able to see all the folders, but your group folder you can actually edit and make comments on. We should all be able to go to any of the groups and see the projects, but you won't be able to comment on only your group's other projects. I hope that makes sense. But just go and find these folders and find your group, and you'll be able to open the document and make comments. And that's the very minimal part of collaborating, is to comment on each other's proposals. As groups, you can also decide you might want to meet in some Google Hangouts to help each other, or you might want to create a Google community to have a threaded conversation. It's up to you as a group to decide how you want to communicate and help each other in the process. So really take advantage of each other's feedback. The other thing for this next week here, I would like you to look at the rubric form. I've created a form, and right here, do not complete this until I assign it to you. This is for you to look at as a guide, to give you a clearer idea of some of the details I'm going to be looking at in the final project. So really, it's the now all of these pieces of what makes a good multimedia are measurable in some way. So take a look at the rubric. Another piece a document that I want you to look at is the peer feedback guide. Giving feedback isn't always easy. Receiving it isn't easy either. So I want, if you please read this guide, and hopefully it will make it a little easier as to what's helpful feedback. And I think that's the idea of what I'm trying to get at with that. So use these steps when you're giving feedback. So it's really, and receiving it as well. Because the ultimate choice is, we're the creator of the project. That's your creative process and your project. So ultimately, it's up to you whether you want to take people's feedback or advice or not. Sometimes, you can disagree with it and decide that's not the direction you want to go. But that's up to you. But I do want you to um, receive feedback and really be open to suggestions that each other makes. So make sure you read this document. And again, so then the rest of the time really is for you to delve into your projects. And if you have any questions, contact me. But really rely on each other for support. Thank you.